What's going on, everybody? This is Dust coming at you from Scarlet Shadow Gaming. I figured I'd probably get another video in today. I want to get I want to give everybody an idea of how they could create their own GPT tool. In case you don't want to use mine, you want to tweak it your own way. You want to add your own elements or rules behind it, add your own starter conversation messages, whatever it may be. Maybe you want to have it so that it uses your own rules. Maybe you want to add your own crafting rules, your own components, your own story elements, whatever it may be. You can use this to create. You can use ChatGPT to create that. So kind of like this one right here, I've made the Sundering GM. This is a GPT specifically for my campaign. I fed it my world information of the world that I generated and built. The more fleshed out that world is, the better. I'll show you kind of the components that I put in there. Let's see if I can find those real quick. So, yeah. So what I did was I built out a world, the introduction to the world, the main plot of the world, a starting point. The more details you have, the more the GPT is going to have to run with it. I also had individual details in my personal Discord for the various nations in this world. So, and you can use ChatGPT to create this all for you if you really wanted an all new adventure. But get your plot, get your world description, get the setting, come up with some adventures and some NPCs. What the final mission is. Come up with your main quest line, basically, if you can, is my advice. Even going ahead and getting individual stats for some of your characters might be reasonable. If you watched my last video, you probably know that it was using an NPC named Sir Galen Brightblade. Well, it generated this because that's what I had. And it even saw this picture and was able to generate, it wasn't 100% accurate, but it was very, very close, like 95% close. In fact, I'm not going to search for it right now, but also the defenders, the clockworks, the constructs. It knew of these and the fact that they were Silithian constructs. It took all of this information that I fed it and ran with it and created the world for me just like I wanted it to. So what I'm going to do today during this video is explain how you can set up your own. So with that in mind, let's say you've already used ChatGPT or you already have written out a story yourself, came up with the main plot and main starting point and the main adventures, came up with your NPCs, your villains, whatever you may have already came up with, the nations, whatever. You're going to want to gather all that information. You're going to want to organize it kind of like you see here. The more organized, the better. It will read everything that's in there. It will analyze everything. But if you have it organized, it'll definitely make it easier for it. But then what you're going to do is in your custom GPT, you're going to, that's not what I wanted. You'll go to My GPTs. You're going to create one. And you'll configure it. You can give it a name now, description, whatever you may be. Or you can create it here. Well, the first thing you want to do is name it. it can come up with the name, but you want to go ahead and name it. For the purpose of what we're doing, you're going to name it. So I'm not going to, well, we can do an example name. Because I don't have another world to do it, so I'll just do it with the Sundering. You can add a description of what it does. Runs the Sundering campaigns. And you can give it specific instructions, but that's what we're going to use the create for. But what you're going to want to do is make sure this code interpreter and data analysis is on, the DALL-E image generation, and web browsing. The reason for this is you need web browsing for it to get accurate or mostly accurate information of D&D 5e in real time. So it's going to pull from online resources to get the rules, to get stats, whatever it may be. It's going to pull them. Image generation, you don't have to have it, but if you want it to generate maps for you and or character images, because you can generate character art for your NPCs based on their description. If you want to do that, then you want to have DALL-E image generation on. You absolutely have to have code interpreter and data analysis on if you want it to work with the files that you've uploaded, or to be able to like scale and stuff the encounters. So once you have those, you can then upload your images, your knowledge. So in this case, I would upload that specific file, which it's probably this one. Let me double check. Yes. So you would upload that, let it finish, and then you would come to create. And this is where, if I'm not mistaken, having that turned off. Oh, no, it stays on. But like I said, you have to have this on to be able to read your file contents. But once you have that in there, you're going to want to come in here and you're going to tell it what to do. However, another option is I'm going to create a template containing my elements that I've done. Oh, there it is. All right, so I have a Word document. I'll show it to you right here. It's got everything that I've added to mine already. So you can feed this in directly into the create, or you can edit it with your own, add some stuff, take stuff away, whatever you may want. And you'll just upload it either from Google Drive, OneDrive, or your computer right here. And what you're going to want to do is tell it to create this GPT using the configurations in this file. And this is going to be the simplest thing you could ever imagine. So I was going to come up with I'm using. All right, so do you want to keep the image for now? We'll just say yes, that's fine. All right, so it's going to give us this information of everything that we have uploaded to it. So it says, I'll incorporate the major areas of the role and goal, guidelines, clarification, and personalization into the content. You'll notice that my questions have been added, and these are different than the one I had, and that's fine. I believe it doesn't include them, so it's going to generate them randomly for you. But it's going to give you the role, which is it's going to assist the DMs in running campaigns, especially those for the Sundering, because that's your campaign, providing immersive descriptions, managing game mechanics, and facilitating player engagement. It should offer dynamic story elements, detailed descriptions, and adjust based on the player decisions. It's going to have the constraints, which in this case is adhere to the established D&D rules. It's going to balance storytelling with rule enforcement, maintain consistency and logic in NPC interactions and story development. It's going to provide the guidelines. It's going to provide clarification, personalization, and then it's going to update the content based on what you want. At this point, you could add additional configurations, refinements, or features, or you can leave it to whatever your configurations are. This looks great. So we are already there. We are done. And we can already go ahead and preview it. So let's say we want to generate a new campaign with a dark fantasy theme. So now it's going to create us a dark fantasy theme based on the Sundering. So it should give us a small tweak to what we started with. And my advice when you're doing this for your own campaign, rather than just generating a new campaign on it, say that you want to begin a new campaign. Well, generating's fine, but tell it to just give you the chapter 1. Otherwise, it's just going to go and generate everything. So in this case, we could have said generate just chapter 1. Including NPC dialogue, options, encounters, etc. Now it's just going to give us chapter 1. It's going to give us the setting, plot hook, NPCs. It's going to give us the encounter. Interactive elements, which are puzzles, which are really cool. It does a really good job with puzzles and traps. Be very wary of traps. Dialogue and role playing. It gives us response options, but that's basically up to the players. They can respond however they see fit. You can use what the NPC says. And then it gives us completion rewards. It gives us items found, which, as you see, this was very much limited compared to ours. But with this, you'll have the basics and the starter of your GPT. Like I said, you can go ahead and reconfigure it however you see fit. Be careful though, because if you're trying to run a balanced campaign, it's going to interpret balance in its own way. Trying to keep adding more and more to it is possibly just going to confuse it. So try to keep it simple, keep the configurations to a minimum, to whatever the minimum you can get to get your desired outcome is what you should focus on. If you were actually creating one outside of custom GPT, you were creating it in an actual learning environment, machine learning environment, then it could potentially handle all those advanced things because you can teach it over time and whatnot. And at some point, this will probably get to that level, that degree as well. But until then, keeping it just simplified like this, probably 15, 20 is probably the most you want to do for configurations. And as you can see with this, it will give you basically everything you could need to assist a DM in world creation, NPC generation, encounter generation. It can do pretty much all of that for you right now. Um, so I hope you take a chance and take some time to generate your world, get it all flushed out, at least to the main story elements of it. Get some NPCs together. You can even use ChatGPT to do so, and then plug them in here. I'll have the template that I uploaded into here for the configurations. Feel free to add those to your own, and they should be, I don't think they are specific to my world. I think these are all basically just template ones that you can use. So I'll include that in the description of this video. And I do hope you take the time to create something new and fun that your entire party will enjoy. And I want to thank you once again for taking the time out of your busy schedules to watch this. Please let me know in the comments if you do manage to create your own. I would be interested in hearing any stories that you may have about it while playing with it. And I will see y'all next time.